welcome all the guests. I'm Judge Lefkowitz, and it's my honor to perform this ceremony today. I go back with the Versace family a very, very long time. I know Marguerite since she's in kindergarten, lived next door to Al, the same development. We all moved in together. Lois, we were the original homeowners in the Bloomingdale Estates. Marguerite was at my son David's bar mitzvah, and we have a history together. And it's really such a pleasure to be able to perform the ceremony today. I know a lot about you, Chris, and your family, and the Versace family really considers your family, Liz and Bernie Kepler, as part of their own family, and they're so happy. I know you have family in Germany, but now you have your own family here. We're sorry that, and so sad we don't have Poppy Sam and Nanny Mae Versace with us. We don't have Grandma B and Poppy Meyer Levine, and we have recently lost good aunts and good uncles. We miss them. But Marguerite, no, Lois is not here, as your dad has said, and as I could see for myself. It's a real tribute to the way you organized this wedding. It's just like your mom, where you put everything together. Everything has to be perfect. Even my own secretary, she said to me, "Who's this Marguerite? I got 4 copies of everything." I said, "That's Marguerite." I said, "Just do whatever she tells you, because that's the way it's going to work, and it's going to work well." And as we can see, it has. Boy, your mom would be so very, very proud. I have to say at this time, besides being proud of you as an organizer and how you put this all together, you're also an unbelievable, she was a role model for you in the way that you bring family and you focus on family, and the way you entertain and put things together. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So as Al said to me on Thursday when we met, your dad said, what a tribute today to your mom. Okay, are we ready? Okay, we have all our friends, we have family here, we're gathered here. We're joining this man and this woman in the bonds of lawful matrimony. This is an honorable estate, and it's not to be entered into lightly or unadvisedly, but it's to be entered into reverently, discreetly, upon sober and mature consideration, having in mind the holy nature of the bond which you're now going to assume. Chris, you take Marguerite to be your wedded wife, to live together in the ordinance and estate of matrimony. Will you love her? Will you comfort her, honor and keep her in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, keep you only unto her as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Marguerite, do you take Chris to be your wedded husband, to live together in the ordinance and estate of matrimony? Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, and keep you only on to him as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Chris, will you take your bride's right hand and repeat after me? I, Chris, take thee, Marguerite, to be my wedded wife.
I, Chris, take thee, Marguerite, to be my wedded wife.
To have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse.
To have and to hold, from this day forward, better or for worse.
Richer or poorer.
Richer or poor.
In sickness and in health.
Sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish.
To love and to cherish.
Till death do us part.
Death do us part.
Marguerite will now take your groom's right hand and repeat after me. I, Marguerite.
I, Marguerite.
Take thee, Chris, to be my wedded husband.
Take thee, Chris, to be my wedded husband.
To have and to hold.
To have and to hold.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
Better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
Richer or poorer.
Richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
Sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish.
Love and to cherish.
Till death do us part.
Till death do us part.
Chris, will you now place the ring? Have the ring? And I'm sure we have the ring. Okay. You now place the ring on the 4th finger of Marguerite's left hand and repeat after me. I take you today as my wife because... Okay, no, go ahead, you do that.
I take you today as my wife
because it is when I'm with you that I feel most complete.
because it is when I am with you that I feel most complete.
Let us join our lives from this day forward.
Let us join our lives from this day forward.
Marguerite, will you now place the ring on the fourth finger of Chris's left hand and repeat after me? I take you today
I take you today
as my husband
as my husband.
because it is when I am with you that I feel most complete.
It is when I am with you that I feel most complete.
Let us join our lives from this day forward.
Let us join our lives from this day forward.
Inasmuch as Chris and Marguerite have been joined together in lawful wedlock and have witnessed the same before this company and friends, and thereunto have pledged each to the other, and have declared the same by the joining of hands and the giving and receiving of rings, I, now in accordance with the authority vested in me by the laws of the state of New York, I pronounce you husband and wife. Now you may kiss. Court order.
I start saying hi to people. Margaret, you are beautiful. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. I would never. Hey.
One day I'll touch you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
I'm Eli. That's my mic. I don't know how long is left.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Should I fall out of love my far in the night to chase a feather in the wind?
just about ready to introduce our bridal party into the room. First, we have the father of the bride, Alfred Versace, escorting Sandy Katz. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Parents of the groom, Bernhard and Liz Kepler. Nice round of applause. Next, we have our bridesmaids, escorted by ushers. First, Jennifer Versace, escorted by Boris Kepler. Boris! Yeah! Say hello to Sarah Versace, escorted by David Lewitt. Shauna Sutherland, escorted by Billy King. At this time, everyone kindly rise. Ladies and gentlemen, our bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Chris Kepler. Yeah! Marguerite and Chris. For the first song is Husband and Wife. Marguerite and Chris have selected our bride and groom.
Marguerite and I would like to thank and welcome everybody for coming here today.
So definitely please enjoy the view, the food, certainly the booze, and just have a great time. Thank you.
This time everyone may be seated, ladies and gentlemen. We're in for a good night tonight.
I just wanted first, I want to congratulate Chris, and I want to wish Marguerite a lot of happiness and good cheer and good life to both of you. I remember when I was a young man, I had a very good friend who had a grandfather who I really adored, and he used to say to my friend and I, when you go out, you meet the girl, but remember, look at the family. Look at the family. And I didn't realize how important that was until I felt very fortunate and very happy when I married into the Levine family. And how important that is. And it's this wonderful to have now today in the union, the Kepler and the Versace family.
Chris and Marguerite, it's a very, very special honor for me to welcome you in marriage today. Marguerite, when we met you the first time, you were a very determined lady, right off the bat. We knew you had all the self-confidence that I admire. We have admired you when you were in Germany at my mother's 80th birthday. You showed flexibility, you showed warmth of heart, and you embraced everybody in an unknown country, an unknown family, and there are antiques in my family that I'd like to point out to you. And we are so happy, and on behalf of Liz, my mom, and her mom, we are extremely happy to welcome you as our daughter in our family as well. Liz, your determination and your path and what you have done and what you have put together and how you have persevered in goals and have gone on makes your parents extremely proud of you as well. And there is no happier day than today to welcome you with your close friends, with all your families. That's why we're all here, because you're such wonderful people. Welcome into this family and group here. Thanks.
Let's give a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need Jennifer and Boris. Is Jennifer going first? Oh no, they're still going. Nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Did everyone hear me?
No.
You sure? So I can really come back and do this another night. Maybe when there's a few less people in the house. All right, just kidding. Just kidding. This is obviously a very special night, and asking someone to be your best man is one of the greatest honors you can bestow. Sadly, Chris never asked me. He just sort of assumed. I think the conversation was something like this. Hey, Chris, that's great, you're getting married. Where is Chris, by the way? Oh, I'm talking, got my back to you. Chris, that's great, you're getting married. Who's gonna be your best man? You? All right, thanks, man, thanks. I think that's what it was like. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't agree to do it that easily. It wasn't until Chris offered me $20 and promised me that it was going to be a small affair tonight that I agreed to do it. So much for small weddings. Welcome, everyone. Marguerite really wasn't kidding when she said she had a big family. There's quite a few people tonight, and it's a great turnout, and it's fantastic. I think the San Gennaro Italian Festival is going on right now in Little Italy, and I understand the organizers canceled today when they heard the Versace's were all going to be up here. Yeah, 50% off all cannolis. I was taking a walk around the room earlier, looking for a table which had some Keplers on it. I didn't find any. I did see a couple of Germans down by the tennis courts. I don't know if that really counts as a table, but anyway. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Boris. I am Chris's older brother. Because Chris and I look so much alike, it's easy to understand why our mom got us confused all the time, especially our names. But yeah, I think that's something that happens to all moms. But aside from my mom, most people are surprised to hear that Chris and I are actually related. I hear a lot from people. People often say, you know, I can't believe you two are brothers. Chris is such a nice guy. happens all the time. I don't know. But it's true, Chris and I are brothers, and my parents obviously thought they could do better after they had me. So they tried again and got Chris, and I can now honestly say that he has lived up to expectations, as despite his being 3 years younger than me, he is married and I am not. Thank you, Jennifer. My girlfriend should be easily recognizable right now, because she'd be the one. She's actually the one in the corner shredding napkins out of frustration. Thanks, hon. On a more serious note, I want to start by thanking Chris and Marguerite on behalf of everyone here. It really has been a pleasure attending and taking part in this wonderful day. Thank you, guys. Thanks. And Marguerite, doesn't she look fantastic? Just amazing, amazing. I'm sure you'll agree with me that Marguerite makes the most beautiful bride, and Chris must be very proud of his new wife. In fact, Marguerite, can I really just say that you've already given the Kepler family the greatest gift we could have hoped for. That old ping pong table you gave us is just, it's just a ton of fun. We play it all the time. Thanks a bunch. Thank you. And apparently we have a picture of Chris hitting the jackpot over here. As I mentioned, since I was living abroad at the time, it was a while before I actually got to meet Marguerite in person. And when I did finally get to meet her, first thing she said to me was, "Hi." And I knew immediately that in Chris's words, she was a keeper. I asked Marguerite how she and Chris met. She told me that they got to know each other on a train ride up to Rhode Island. She explained to me that after months of being friends, she got fed up with waiting for Chris to make the first move. So she kissed him in the car and then promptly ran away. It was at this point that Chris realized Marguerite was going to be wearing the pants in the relationship. But Chris still had some work to do.
You gotta take that picture.
Allison, you can move to the next slide. Thank you.
Okay, Allison, you do a good job.
About 9 months, I'll go back.
That's great.
Sorry, okay. All right, that's my joke ruined, but that's right. About 9 months into dating, Marguerite nearly gave up on Chris when he didn't know it was Marguerite's birthday. I have this on good authority. Now, it wasn't just that Chris had forgotten. He just, in 9 months, he had never asked when it was. It's a bit strange. But Chris, in a time-worn Kepler tradition, saved the day by taking Marguerite on a romantic getaway. And afterwards, Marguerite called up her sisters and told them she was in love. When Chris called me up in London and told me he had taken the plunge and asked Marguerite to marry him, I was surprised and happy. And as you can see, we have a picture here of Chris taking the plunge. And nice one, Chris. And of course, that's me on the side there watching and taking notes, as I am today. And Marguerite, in case you were worried that Chris was marrying you so that you could have someone to do the laundry for him, I have it on good authority that Chris actually enjoys washing his own underwear. Chris. Chris, that fig leaf just cost you an extra $20. I knew Chris felt at home with the Versace family after I visited their house for the first time last Thanksgiving. Chris walked into the front door, made a few brief introductions and then planted himself on the couch in the family room. I don't know if you guys remember this, but within moments, Sarah was over with a drink, and Jennifer was over with snacks and stuff, and Shannon was giving him a massage. And I looked over him and I said, "You got it made." It was great. It was great. My parents recently put an extension on their house in Westport for a bigger kitchen. The running joke in our family has been that the addition to the house was actually going to be turned into an apartment for Chris and Marguerite, since Chris had lived at home for so long and no one could imagine him moving out anymore. But Chris and Marguerite have their own place now in Westport. We're thrilled to have them as neighbors, even if it means they still come by to do laundry. All right. As I'm sure many of you know, Chris is a bit of a fishing fanatic. He goes fishing at all hours of the night. He carves his own lures. He plans his holidays around fishing. What many of you may not know is that Chris's hobby was almost a very short-lived affair, had it not been for my mother's timely intervention. When Chris was about 10 years old, he got his first fishing rod and spent most of the summer down on this very dock right here, casting his luck. His first attempts at fishing were pretty unsuccessful, to put it mildly, and he was pretty much on the verge of giving up when my mom stepped in and urged him to keep trying, and eventually offered him $1 for every fish he caught the next day. Big mistake right there. By this time, it was the end of the summer. It was late August, early September. The snapper bluefish had just started their run, I think. Is that the right terminology? I don't know. Yeah, it works. Okay. And Christopher was out on the dock again, and by late afternoon, he had hauled in over a dozen fish. None of them really bigger than the palm of my hands, but it was good for him. You should have seen the look on Chris's face that day. I reckon it must have been similar to the look he had after Marguerite kissed him and ran away. And my mom, true to her word, paid Chris $1 for each fish he'd caught. But my mom, being who she is and being a bit ahead of her time, I think today Emerald Lagasse would call it taking it up a notch. She actually took it up a notch, and she cleaned, filleted, breaded, and fried each single fish. It took her about 3 hours, and when she was done, we had enough for maybe a small appetizer. Right? But ever since, Chris has been hooked on fishing, no pun intended. After having seen Chris and Marguerite's relationship develop and blossom, I'm really convinced that there's not a happier couple around, and I'm thrilled to see them tie the knot today on such a wonderful occasion. It's always been my philosophy that you can tell a lot about someone by the type of eyeglasses they wear. And if we ever needed proof that Chris and Marguerite were destined for each other, take a look at the next picture. One more.
Do me a favor. Go back.
The one before was better. Marguerite and Chris, maybe it's just me with the help of some vodka tonics tonight, but it seems there's a certain chemistry, a special sort of buzz in the air tonight. I think everyone here tonight realizes what a special couple you are, and I think we're all here kind of basking in your glory tonight. So before I get too choked up, special toast to Chris and Marguerite. Live long, laugh often, love always. That's me.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Yeah. There is no way that I could top Boris's speech with the funny aspect. So the three of us decided to take a more sentimental approach. And So I don't start crying, I'm going to read it because I don't have the eloquence that my father does to do it off the cuff. So here goes. When we knew we had to get up in front of everyone today and give a toast to Marguerite and Chris, we wanted to talk about the first time they met and when they fell in love. Except it took a really long time for us to remember that story, because now it seems like we've known Chris forever. Memories from family vacations like Seabrook and the Hamptons, holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, all include Chris. When we thought about this, although today was the official ceremony, in reality, Chris has been a member of our family for a really long time. Some could say we might be a little sad because we are losing a sister. But we don't feel that way at all. Instead, not only have we gained a brother-in-law, but our family has grown to include Bernie, Liz, and Boris. They have not only welcomed Marguerite into their family with open arms, they have welcomed all of the Versaces. And that's not easy because there's a lot of us. Bernie, Liz, Boris, and Chris, your warmth, generosity, and love has extended to all of us. The four of you have enriched our lives in so many ways. So today, we feel as fortunate as Marguerite does. We are so happy to be sharing this day with the both of you, celebrating your marriage and celebrating the joining of our families. It is rare when you can find someone who can complete you as a person, who can truly complement your strengths and weaknesses. And who knew it would be the kid down the street? But this is what happened to Marguerite and Chris. And you know what? It makes sense. Who better than that kid down the street, who would end up sharing the same family values, future dreams, and spirit for living. Not only does it seem like we've known Chris for a long time, but Marguerite and Chris have known each other for a long time. They've been friends for a long time. From the foundation of their friendship, they have developed the love and passion that binds them today as a married couple. And we know this will serve them well as they begin their new lives together. We would like to ask everyone to raise their glasses and toast to the new couple. We wish you only health, happiness, and joy forever. We love you both very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you very much. That's it. Oh, should I?
treat me like a Notre Dame, that's why I had to keep my shine on. I break a little something to keep my mind on, cause you had my mind gone. Turn the lights on, come on baby, let's just rewind the song. Cause all I wanna do is make the rest dance, the best dance all night long.
On the count of three. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah! This goes out to the sisters. Everybody.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking